Aloha, aloha, everybody, and welcome. I'm Natalie, and this is Life After a Cult, the channel where we expose cult nonsense. We laugh at the absurdity, and hopefully, along the way, we all unbrainwash ourselves a little bit at a time, maybe even a lot. All right, you guys, this week, Scientology news has been a wild ride. I gotta admit it, and today is no different. We're going to be talking about some AI glasses exposing the weirdest stuff outside of Scientology building. A protester literally saved a guy from getting recruited into the cult, and Hollywood is throwing some serious shade. Yes, even at Tom Cruise. He is involved. How can he not be? Oh, and apparently John Goodman, the actor, might be getting offered one of those magical Scientology assists. Feel my finger, thank you. Feel my finger, thank you. That going on instead of, actual medical care because he was injured doing a film with Tom Cruise. We're going to talk about that. You cannot make this stuff up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, moderators, for helping out today. Members, great to see you, and everybody in the live chat. If you're on the replay, welcome. I hope you participate. Get in that chat. Let's talk about our question of the day. If you have not already answered it, our question of the day is, what's the best or worst excuse to escape a Scientology recruiter? Throw your answers in the chat. Nancy will star some of them. We will go over them later. If you are on the replay, throw them into the comments. I have been having a great time going back and reading those of you in the replay. So your effort is not noticed because I like to go back and read them and laugh my butt off because you guys are just so funny with these responses. Me personally, my top to go to is, when it comes to something like a Scientology recruiter, is I would probably, if I was a total new person, I would play the diarrhea card. Nobody ever questions diarrhea. They don't. Gotta go. I have diarrhea. No one, there's not a follow-up question to that usually. It's just, oh, okay. That's contagious. Nobody wants it, especially in Scientology. I will say that it's not so much like, oh, go get some rest. They want you isolated away. In the C organization, we had a whole room area that they would lock us in if we were sick to keep us away from people. And it was called isolation. It was part of the punishment for daring to get sick. How dare you let those germs infest you? You are a C organization member. You should be getting the ethics in of the germs. It's so ridiculous. Let's take a look now at a little bit of, this was on X, I believe, how AI sees the cult of Scientology. Someone took their AI glasses to look at the cult of Scientology. I have no idea how this works, right? I don't know what the deal is with the AI glasses. I have not tried them, but this looked really funny and interesting. But first, aloha. Paralyzed to Paralyze, aloha for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate that. There is a link down in the description of this video. If y'all want to become members, it helps me, it helps the channel, helps me continue to do this. Nancy will also share a link throughout. Appreciate it. We are doing a members only live stream on Thursday. I had to push it to 4:30. Is that right? Or am I done at 4:30? Okay, I'm going to get back to you on that. Actually, let me just look right now. I just had to change it. So members only live on Thursday is 4:00. 4:00. Perfect. 4:00 my time. I hope to see you there. Okay, let's get back to this here. Let's look at what happened when somebody took some AI glasses. Maybe someone can even explain to me what those are because I don't quite understand this. But it is hilarious when you're thinking about Scientology. Let's look at what they saw.
So I brought my AI glasses to the Church of Scientology to see the world through the eyes of AI. Let's go by the building. I don't know, bro. There's always something weird going on over here. Like,
or those creatures coming out of there. That one there, that looked like some type of monster.
Bro. I don't know. This is too creepy, bro. I don't know, bro. Like, having these on creeps me out, bro. I'm out of here.
Freaks him out and he's out of there. I don't blame him one bit. I have no idea how those work, but I thought it was funny. Okay. I'm laughing at your answers already. Ophelia and I are on the same page with the diarrhea. I saw a couple other of you two in there. I just think that just no one questions it, even in Scientology. All right, Nancy's going to be starring some of those answers to the question of the day. We will go over those shortly. But first, we need to talk about actor John Goodman and how he was injured on the set of a Tom Cruise movie. So, of course, the first thing that comes to my mind is, what did you do to pull this in? Could Tom Cruise be a potential trouble source? Could he be somehow attached to a suppressive person and John Goodman was exposed and he was injured? Because in Scientology, that's how you explain the injuries, the mistakes. You're connected to a suppressive person. John Goodman got hurt. Is there a suppressive person within our midst? Let's see what the media had to say about this. So, John Goodman injured on Tom Cruise movie set. He is 72. He sustained the injury while filming in England. Sidebar here. I'm so happy that John Goodman is still working. Think about it from the Roseanne days. I really enjoyed him in, oh gosh, what is that show called? It's on like HBO Max or something. The Righteous Gemstones. Anybody see that? Throw one in the chat if you've seen The Righteous Gemstones. I think it's hilarious. I love all the characters in it, and I loved watching John Goodman in that. So he suffered an injury. He is on the mend. I do not know if anyone tried to give him a Scientology assist, a touch assist. Feel my finger, thank you. Feel my finger, thank you. We don't know. Let's hope not. He got a hip injury. He did receive immediate medical attention that led to a brief delay in shooting to allow him time to recover, and they're going to start shooting again next week. So he did get medical attention. So no, he wasn't limited to Scientology touch assist. He was not. Tom Cruise must not have been on the set that day because, doesn't he kind of keep volunteer ministers, Scientology volunteer ministers on hand on set? I feel like he does. Like that is just part of it because he put up a volunteer minister tent before. In fact, more on that in a little bit. So sounds like he is on the mend. He's going to be okay. We're going to see him back. They're sharing a little before and after of his weight loss. It's so great that looks like he's taking better care of himself. He lost more than 200 pounds. That is amazing. Wow. That's a great picture of him there. He says he's been exercising. He hasn't been exercising, but he was going to start a routine again this summer. He used to hover at more than 400 pounds. That is amazing. So I hope that he's okay, and I hope we can mark him safe from Scientology, volunteer ministers, Tom Cruise, and touch assists, because nothing could be worse for him in that way. Nancy says the Monument Men was fantastic as well. I don't think I saw that one. I don't think I saw it. A cute pumpkin clodhopper thinks it was Ozempic. I don't know because he lost it slowly. And he's lost it for years, like before even I think Ozempic became a thing, but maybe not. You never know. Maybe. MW, yes, I do have some interviews planned. In fact, I'm doing one tomorrow. No, it's tomorrow, Thursday. It is. So before I do my members only live stream, I am going to be sitting down and doing a live stream with Jenna Miscavige. We're going to have her here on the channel. That is going to be tomorrow, my time, at about 2:30 p.m. I'm excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. And I got more coming up too outside of that. So stick around. All right. Some of you are saying it probably was Ozempic. Well, however he did it, I'm glad he did it, because to be over 400 pounds, that is dangerous in terms of your health. So, but they'll be back to filming. Hopefully he will be okay. In the meantime, Farrell Sharrow had something to say, because you think about, right, Scientology and the alien connection. Is there a tie between abductions? Do Scientologists get abducted by aliens? I don't know. But Farrell Sharrow has a take on it that's making me go, she kind of has a point. Let's look at this.
At this point, if I get picked up by aliens, I'm going to consider it a rescue mission instead of an abduction. At this point, if I
That's all that was, but I thought it was so funny. And she made me go, huh, would it be a rescue mission at this point? Kind of would, depending on how you think about it and how you feel about things going on in the world around you. But I had to think for a minute, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what are the aliens offering? What happens on the spaceship? Like, do I get to roam free? Will I have my own apartment? Will I have my, I'm not down with 15 people in a room in bunk beds. Did that in the Sea Org. Do not want to do it again. What are you offering? Do you need like someone to help you smooth the way as you come on Earth? I mean, I don't know. Like my mind just goes down an imagination rabbit hole, but I think Feral Cheryl could be onto something. It's not an abduction. It's a rescue mission. Okay, let's talk about this Billy Bush. So Hot Mics with Billy Bush here on YouTube was chatting away, and Scientology comes up in the conversation, and he throws some shade talking about a volunteer minister's tent, and he's totally talking about Tom Cruise. He's totally throwing shade at Tom Cruise. So I'm sitting over here going, makes me giddy. So let's look at this. This is again Billy Bush. Let's listen.
An attempted hit piece on Baldoni last Thursday in the LA Times, where a former Wayfarer studio employee accuses Justin of toxic positivity. This is a good one. This is like Hollywood. Can you think of what's left? What's a term we can hashtag here? Toxic positivity. Look, if you're running a Scientology tent on a movie set, I don't push the Scientology on your actors and the things. And the Baha'i faith, if you're Baha'ing, doing Baha'i circles and stuff, no, Justin, stop. Don't do that. And don't get people to sign their emails with love, whatever it is. I see how that's annoying. But toxic positivity and sexual, harassment are on two different continents.
Yeah. I mean, toxic positive. Look, I've worked on so many sets. Like, please be toxically positive to me on set. Like, I've been
I need it.
so mad. I need it.
And of course, who had the volunteer minister's tent? Of course, that was Tom Cruise, who put it on a movie set and tried to get people to use it. And it's been a long time since Tom Cruise has done anything like that we're aware of. I think that's the kind of thing that happens when you have your sister as your PR person. You're jumping on couches and doing other things. And in full disclosure, I didn't hate the couch jumping. We've talked about this. I was in Scientology at the time that happened. And I remember I turned to my husband at the time and was like, you're not jumping on any couches for me. We were divorced about 2 years later. Didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. You might hate that I didn't hate it, but I didn't hate it. I kind of was like, oh my gosh, that's kind of cool. Everything else, though, I hate it. But that I was like, yeah, that's not so bad. So keep an eye out. I don't think Tom Cruise is doing any more of these volunteer minister tents. I think he's kind of gotten the message. Keep your stuff to yourself. Practice your own religion. Do what you're going to do, but maybe not make other people do it. Maybe not make it that they have to. And even what Billy Bush was saying about Baha'i, it's again, practice, right? Be a living example of the benefits you got from that. If it involves treating people better and being more positive, that's wonderful. But when you start getting into dictating like, hey, everybody should sign their emails like this, or everybody should be doing Scientology touch assist, in my opinion, you're crossing a line, because it's a workplace when you are doing a movie. That is your job. That is work. I can't imagine going into an office setting and doing that same thing, right? Can you imagine it? Wherever you got your office, your church, wherever, well, it wouldn't be your church. That would be the place to do it. But someplace else, and someone comes in and is like, yeah, we are now all going to do locational assist on each other before we start work. Locational assist is when you tell someone, look at that wall, and they do, and you go, thank you. Walk over to that wall. Thank you. Touch that wall. Thank you. Look at that wall. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It just has no place in the workplace. And I feel like now more than ever that message should be getting through to Scientologists. But here's the thing. Scientologists will they have their business and they want to use L. Ron Hubbard's business technology. So sometimes if the company is big enough, they will create a course room for Scientology within the business itself, where the staff will do Scientology courses. Some of them are related to the administrative technology. And I say that word with air quotes in case you're in the car right now. It is actually not the place. And how many Scientologists have gotten in trouble for this? A lot. There's been court cases, there's been articles, because they just think it's like, oh yes, Scientology is the best, greatest thing ever. Everybody needs to do it. I need to go out and like get everybody in my company because they're a captive audience. I pay these people to obey me. It's like, no, that's the worst place to do it. And I think that in more recent times that many Scientologists have learned that lesson. And I feel like even Tom Cruise has maybe learned that lesson. Now, let's take a look at a story that is making the rounds, that's asking the question, did Adam Sandler play a role in Katie Holmes splitting from Tom Cruise, getting away in The Great Escape? I don't know. I've not heard this before. So let's take a look. This is popping up in a couple different places. And folks think Adam Sandler used Jack and Jill, which is a movie that they were filming, to help Katie Holmes escape her marriage to Tom Cruise. So I read through most of this. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I'm kind of like, I feel like it's a stretch, but I can see how they got there, because at the time, a lot of people were saying like, hey, Katie Holmes is in a way better than this in terms of this movie and what she was doing in the movie, what her role was. And I think that's part of what started this idea. And maybe it's true. I don't know. I'm just asking the question here. Is that what happened, where he gave her a resource and a way that helped her get away from Tom Cruise? I don't know. I just love that it is making the rounds in the media that Adam Sandler may have played a role in Katie Holmes escaping from Tom Cruise and thereby Scientology. I mean, people would just applaud the man for it, right? I would love it if he would respond to that. How cool would that be to find out? If anybody knows any more about this story, sometimes you guys got the tea. Jump in the chat, jump in on the replay, and let me know what your thoughts are on this. All right. So Adam Sandler, I don't know. Did he help her? Did he not? I would like to believe that he did. But you guys tell me what you think about that. All right. Now let's go over to Chicago. But before we do, we need to make sure that the Office of Special Affairs is front and center on this one. No more fluffy Tom Cruise stories. David Miscavige, wake up your people. It is Wednesday. The Thursday before L. Ron Hubbard's birthday, March 13th. Yay! Time everywhere across the planet. Scientology organizations, people are furiously stat pushing, trying to sell books, write letters, whatever it is, get people in. It's crazy. Or at least it used to be back in the day. These days, I don't know. I think it's a little bit more depressing because, we got to be honest. It's just not the same. You don't have a ton of people. Scientology, there was a time, like maybe back in the 80s for a hot minute, when Dianetics was kind of like, you know what? Dianetics is the thing. But these days, you walk into any Scientology organization, and this is what you hear. Where the people at? No people here. No, you hear crickets. It is nothing. Nothing is happening. Very, very little. So Office of Special Affairs, there are things happening, though, outside of Scientology buildings, and that is raising awareness. That is helping people understand why Scientology is a family-destroying human trafficking cult. The stories behind that. And now that we have woken up our Office of Special Affairs, pay attention, because I think you could learn something from this. Take a page out of this book. Let's take a look. We're going to go to Chicago, where trashy V12 BMW has been back live streaming and protesting Scientology. Trashy V12 BMW that I'm aware of was the first person to start showing up out front in Chicago for Scientology before they opened their new building. He had been out there for a while. He was out there and he meets a man who is just about to go in to Scientology holding one of those tickets for a film. Let's watch this.
Dude, you don't want to be a part of this place, man. What are you going in for? Dude, do not go in there. It's a cult, man. It's a complete scam. They're going to scam you out of money. They're going to try and get you to buy their books. You're just trying to see a movie, right? Don't go in there, man. It's a scam. Seriously, 100%. They human traffic people. They coerce women into abortions in the Sea Org. I don't know if you know about the Sea Org yet, but they got like a military group of workmen, and they will coerce women out of abortions because they don't believe that if you're in the Sea Org that you should be getting pregnant and stuff like that. It's really messed up, man. This place is not a good place. It will seriously take your life away from you, man. I know you're curious, but like if you want to learn some stuff, man, I can hook you up with some science books. We can go somewhere right now and we can go pick up some material that you're interested in, but this place is a waste of time, man. I'm telling you. You're homeless. I can hook you up with some food, man, if you want.
So he shares that, he's homeless and he was going in there to actually see if he could get some help with, I think, some bus fare to get to some family. And Trashy took the man and got him something to eat. And I do believe even helped him with an Uber to get to where he needs to get to go. Gets him to where he needs to go. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean. I thought that was amazing. And what a guy, Trashy V12 BMW. That was so cool. Just being in the right place at the right time and sharing with him why. This is why. Not just that it's a cult, but this is why. Because this guy would have gone in, they would have done the deal if they didn't know he was homeless. If they know he's homeless, they're going to put him right out. Showed him the movie, tried to recruit him. Oh, you don't have any money? Oh, well, you can join staff. Even if you're homeless. We have heard of this where Scientology organizations have recruited people who are homeless, saying that they can help them find some place to live. And then there have been multiple reports over the years of them using them as to keep an eye on the building overnight. And it's like, what are you doing? For one, you're taking someone, you don't even know off the street who's homeless and having them live in the building. This happened in Seattle when I was there early on. I remember learning of this, and the kibosh got put on it, where it's like there were people living in the org who were, doing night watch, they called it, but they weren't going anywhere. Like they weren't going home. They were kind of, sleeping in shifts and watching the building, just not like, no. So this is amazing. Love this. Love that he helped him out as well. So, give Trashy V12 BMW some love. Check him out if you want to see him out there. I thought that was fantastic. That was so cool. And keep your answers coming. I'm seeing some of them pop up from the question of the day. Yeah, from a poet. Brian says, right place at the right time. The universe was working there. Yep, exactly. Queen of Karma, 100%. They tell them to work it off. Work it off. Professor Furberger, good work, Trashy. Yep, Hunter Bay. All it takes is one at a time. It's a win. And that's one person that he made an impact on. But again, through the power of social media, we are now all seeing it, right? And people will share that and they'll continue to see it. And his approach too, if he was just screaming, like if he knew or didn't know he was a Scientologist, and if he approached him a different way with maybe hate, I don't know that the guy would have responded the same way, but he approached him with care in this. And I think it made all the difference in the world. Northern Girl says, so insidious. Damn them for preying on people like that. Absolutely. That is what they do. And it's being called out. And there are people out there who are actually trying to help people. And there's a lot of valid organizations to help people too. And it's not a bad idea, in my opinion, when you're out protesting, to know some of those resources in case somebody does need help in that way that you meet while you're out there. I've seen people protesting, handing out supplies to the unhoused. I always thought that was fantastic too, because you're out there exposing Scientology, right? Letting people know the truth, but also helping the community as well, helping the people who are there. I thought that was great. Sandy McKenna says, this chat is proof that we can have deep, even tough conversations while still being compassionate and respectful. You are all amazing. And you are. We have the best chat, the best mods. Let's go. Good morning, girl. Good to see you. Hey, Amber Vanessa, good to see you as well. Okay, where am I? What are we on? Oh, this video I found on YouTube is about Scientology here in the Twin Cities where I am. So I've been to this building. I've never been in it because by the time they opened their ideal organization, I had already left the building, left Scientology, was not welcome to come and do a tour. I don't know why. Something about being declared a suppressive person and you can't get a tour after that. I don't know. I think it's a little weird, but apparently that is Scientology. So there is this guy. He did this video. He called it Where the Rich Worship in Minnesota. The Church of Scientology, Twin Cities, St. Paul will shock you. Funny thing is, to me, like, I can almost guarantee you everybody in there, 99% of the people are not rich. Quite the opposite, actually. Why? Because Scientology is the only rich entity in that building. They're the ones who own the property. They're the ones where all this money is being funneled up to David Miscavige, up to the powers that be. It's not even there helping the local staff who are there on the ground doing the work. The staff there signed 2.5 and 5 year volunteer contracts. I'm saying that in air quotes in case you're in the car. Volunteer. You're a volunteer. You're a religious worker. What's another name for that? Oh, yeah, clergy, right? Doesn't that make y'all mandatory reporters too? Oh, no, you're not clergy anymore? Scientology talking out both sides of their mouth. I found this video very interesting because dude goes into the org and he gets referred to somebody. And you might think someone walks in with questions about Scientology. You might refer them to, in a Scientology organization, Division 6 handles new people. You can show them the panels, right? We also later in this video are going to get into why Scientology no longer lets Scientologists explain Scientology. We have some actual footage we are going to look at or listen to about that. So you would think, send them to the person in charge of new people, right? He's got questions. No. We're going to see in the video, and you wouldn't know this unless you were local to that area and knew who the Nancy is that the receptionist is referring to. She is their director of special affairs. In other words, the Office of Special Affairs, their representative there in the form of a 2.5, 5 year contracted staff member. So why would he be referring somebody who's coming in with questions to the director of special affairs instead of somebody who is new going to Division 6? Because he had a camera. Here's the thing. I feel like there will come a time, there are people who go in who are curious, who might be content creators. Some of them are there to cause trouble and havoc, but some of them, like this guy, was genuinely like, okay, well, like, what's happening here? Like, why can't I film here? And that got explained to him. And then he was given the number to basically the OSA person right there. So let's take a look at this. This is in the Twin Cities.
Scientology claims to offer a path to spiritual enlightenment and freedom through a
freedom from your wallet. That's basically what Scientology gives you. We all know it.
Unique set of teachings and practices. I managed to enter the church.
I love his accent too. I managed to enter the church.
But due to stringent policies of trespass, I couldn't take photos or take a video, except for my secret camera that recorded at the lobby.
You can hear the panels going in the background. Everywhere in Scientology organizations that handle new people now, there are all these panels that explain, because Scientologists, what is the first rule in Scientology? Don't talk about Scientology. Like, no joke. And again, in a little bit, I'm going to show you evidence as to why Scientology started pulling back their people and beg them to stop talking about Scientology.
1646. Call Nancy and set up an appointment with her.
Nancy is the OSA person there. Set up an appointment with her? I don't think so.
Yeah. And you'll be all set.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Scientology.
Yes, I'm going to link it down below right after this so you can see the whole video, because dude did a whole video about it and gets into some Scientology stuff as well. It was really interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, now, oh my gosh, I am just like laughing my butt off on the inside. These questions of the day. My best friend is a psychiatrist as your answer to a Scientology recruiter. I'm just going to grab a couple of these so we don't get too behind. Question of the day. What's the best or worst excuse to escape a Scientology recruiter? Feral Cheryl, I left my e-meter on. I got to run. Mama Opal, I'm lactose intolerant and I just came from the ice cream shop. Scientology musings. I once got caught hiding down the side of a sofa in my home when they climbed a wall and went around the back and appeared at the window. No kidding. Hey, been there. I had a drill in my house. I drilled with my kids when I said, hit the ground. They jump behind the couches. They land on the ground and we close the blinds because Scientology was walking up to our door. My daughter Shelby, if you watch her interviews early on my channel, she even talked about as a child remembering that and wondering, like, even she would answer the phone and tell Scientology my business. And I would have to tell her, don't tell them where I am, what I'm doing. Just say I'm not home. Like, don't give any information. And I get, as a, teen, preteen teen, she didn't fully understand why I didn't want Scientology knowing my business. It always cracked me up, though, that we would totally hide from them. Let's see. Oh, a little bit of housekeeping, too, we got to take care of. Hold on. We need to acknowledge a couple birthdays. Did you guys know it's Hermie's birthday? It's Mama Opal's hubby, Papa Opal's birthday, and it's Phil Jones's birthday. I don't think Phil Jones is here in the chat. At least I did not see him, but we need to acknowledge these birthdays. And I think we just got to go with everybody because we can't say all three names. All right, ready? Here we go. Everybody.
Happy birthday to you.
Everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Everybody, happy birthday. Drop those happy birthdays in the chat. Again, Phil Jones's birthday today. Hermie's birthday's today. Papa Opal's birthday is today. All the day before L. Ron Hubbard's birthday. And you know what? If your birthday is March 13th, don't worry about it, okay? We're going to celebrate your birthday tomorrow. So be sure to call it out. It's not just L. Ron Hubbard's birthday. We're not letting him take over all the birthdays. It is totally something we're still going to celebrate. So thank you for throwing in all of the happy birthdays. If you're on the replay, please join us as well. Okay, so we have got to talk about this video that Mark Bunker and Tori Magoo 44 did, Tori Chrisman. It was so great. I've got a few clips that we want to look at, and it really answers the question of why. Why does Scientology not let their people talk about Scientology? I know some of you have wondered that. And when they are speaking of Scientology, why is it so incredibly and ridiculously awkward? We are going to look at that. Oh, but first, let's take this hotline call. Do I got my phone straight? There we go. Life After a Cult. This is Natalie. How can I help you? Yeah, you think you might be in a cult? You're calling the right place. Oh, that's fun. Well, what makes you think you're in a cult? You ride a bike around all day. Watching for suppressive persons? Okay, well, I mean, bike riding is healthy, so, no real red flags yet, but go on. I mean, looking for suppressive persons is a little specific and odd, but okay. You spend a lot of time taking down posters? Is it as like your job? Okay. Protest signs, flyers. Oh, you mean like the ones that say Scientology ruins lives and where's Shelley Miscavige? Yeah. Yeah, that's oddly specific, but hey, I hear removing posters is great for upper body strength. Ever thought of switching to CrossFit? It's less culty, usually. What? You have to chase people off the sidewalk on a bicycle. So like a pedal-powered enforcer. Wow, that is next level intimidation. Do you at least get like an official title? Like the two-wheeled Thetan Terminator. No? How about the pedaling protector of L. Ron Hubbard Way? No? Well, what's your title? Security. Well, that's a little disappointing. You what? You have to stand outside a blue building all day scanning for people with cameras and then call in reinforcements if they stop for too long. All right, well, hear me out. What if they're lost or checking Google Maps? Not everyone taking a picture is a government spy. Some people just like the maybe they like the building or they think it's ugly and they want to show their friends. Oh, you're required to say you need to keep moving, even though they're just literally just waiting for an Uber? That's tough. Does Uber know about this? Do they have like a cult zone surcharge on L. Ron Hubbard Way? Yeah, where they could do pick up and drop off without your harassment? Well, look, even the fact that you're asking, am I in a cult? That's a good sign because most people inside a cult do not stop to wonder. Usually they're too busy handing over their bank account or defending their leader's inability to blink. Oh, you got in trouble because you hesitated before taking down a critical poster. Oh, no. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but hesitation is not a personality trait that thrives in a cult. Yeah, you got to be full send, zero thought, poster ripping enthusiasm. Well, the fact that you had a moment of, maybe they have a point. I mean, you were reading the posters. And, I feel like I might have saw a video of you reading the posters. That's dangerous. You are one independent thought away from getting assigned to a special program, if you know what I mean. Oh my God, they did assign you to a special program. What did they make you do? Read L. Ron Hubbard quotes out loud until your eyes glaze over. Write down all the bad thoughts you had about the leader? Or did they make you redo the potential trouble source suppressive person course, but charge you for it again? That's popular. Oh, that's weird. They just made you bike around in bigger circles for longer. Oh, that's brutal. Cult and cardio. Double the suffering. Look, I think we've cracked the case here. If you are ripping down anti-cult posters, patrolling a sidewalk for protesters, and being forced to pedal in endless circles, I hate to tell you this, but you're not in a bike gang. You're in Scientology security. Yeah. No, it's totally a cult. Hello? Oh, well, okay. Some people do not like the truth, but that is okay. That is okay. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here for it. Whew. Now I've got to worry about that guy. I do. I think I saw a clip of a video I remember seeing of a security person reading the posters. Yeah. Cult leaders not going to like that. No, they're not. And again, rideshare, you got your Uber, you got your other one, your Lyft. How are people supposed to pick people up if you can't just stop on the sidewalk? Leave it to Scientology to have an unusual solution for something so simple. Okay, now let's talk about Mark Bunker and Tori Magoo did a reaction video to a radio program that was done back when. It was done in like 1990. And this is one of the best examples I've seen of why Scientology doesn't trust their people to talk about Scientology. This is so embarrassing. It is massively embarrassing. Office of Special Affairs, please prepare yourself to feel cringe like you have never felt before. I'm going to feel it on your behalf. I still feel that cringe as a former Scientologist. I'm sometimes embarrassed for my former people. Like, really? This is what we're doing now? Or at least we're doing there? But here's the thing. I think it's going to help you guys see why Scientologists have to say buy a book. Kirstie Alley, doesn't matter if you're a celebrity. What is Scientology? Buy a book. Buy a book. Buy a book. I can't tell you. All right, let's look at this first clip here. So this video is how not to defend Scientology. And I wanted to share this first clip because I didn't know this. And I'm going to need y'all to file this away because I keep threatening to put together a anti-Scientology trivia game. And this would definitely need to be one of the questions. Did you all know that Tori Magoo 44 won the Newlywed Game? That she was on it and won? So one day, sometime in the not too distant future, you might hear a question. Which former Scientologist won the Newlywed Game? Do. And then you're going to be, because you watch my show. Oh, Alex, I'll take Tori Magoo 44 for 500. Yes, and you would be correct. So listen to Tori tell this story.
If you're married within a year and you can go on the Newlywed Game, and that's the consolation prize. So we weren't going on to win. We were just going on to get the consolation prize, which was the camera, because we didn't have a camera. Mm-hmm. So now we get on it, and it's, the panel and all this stuff, and it comes down to the last thing, and it says, Tori Bazazian, you can answer this question. You will win the Newlywed Game. And then cuts the commercial, comes back, and it goes, all right, does your husband have a photograph of you in his wallet? Well, I knew he didn't because we came on to get the camera. So I said no. And so we won. And we won a trailer camper and a year's supply of everything. I mean, it was a nightmare. It was like Shasta Cola, rose milk skim cream, and something else. And, cases and cases and cases of it. And they would just show up. Here it is. And if you're married,
a lifetime supply. I have definitely never won a lifetime supply of anything, but I've always wondered, how much is a lifetime supply? Tori goes on to tell the story of how anybody who would show up at their door, they would just basically give them this stuff, that they had a ton of it. And they got the camera that they wanted to get. I thought that was lovely. So, but listen to this. Scientology does a cringe job of explaining what Scientology is, or a Scientologist does. Let's look at this. This was this radio show where there was Jerry Whitfield, former Scientologist, versus Scientologist Mike Jones. And oh my goodness, was this crazy. And yeah, shout out to Shasta. Remember that? Julia O'Connell. I remember drinking Shasta Cola in Arizona. I've never had it. I'm not even sure if it existed in Hawaii when I was growing up. Maybe it did. But I don't think I've ever had a Shasta, but I've seen it. Yeah, Becky, I've seen the grape Shasta. I've seen that. Okie dokie. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is so cringe.
But an active Scientologist, Mike Jones, and also Jerry Whitfield, who is an ex-Scientologist, and I welcome both of you to the program today. Thank you for being here. Mike, let's start off with you. What is Scientology?
What is Scientology? The most dreaded question you could ever ask a Scientologist.
Well, let me get a couple notes here. Basically, Scientology is defined as knowing how to know.
Let me check my notes. Seriously? You're going on a radio show. You know you're going on the radio show. You are a Scientologist. Scientology, right? And probably someone from OSA, the Office of Special Affairs. You still with us, my lovelies? Okay. Looked over the Scientologists available to do this interview and went, you know what? This is an interview. They're going to ask about Scientology. Who can we send out there? Bring in the A-team. I don't know who Mike Jones is, but somehow this dude floated to the top. And the very first question, what is Scientology? He's all, let me check my notes. Let me see. What was I supposed to say? The issue with answering questions about Scientology as a Scientologist is you have to lie. Because if you told the truth, and this guy actually does tell the truth about a few things, which is why he was like yanked out of there and probably never allowed to speak publicly about Scientology again. But listen to the answer he puts together.
It's a applied philosophy versus just a philosophy that, well, you just think this is something that you
Yeah, I'm glad he's consulting his notes.
apply to your daily life, and you can find some result and change. It's a religion. Oh yes, absolutely. It anything that consults the mind, the spirit, and a supreme being falls into the category of them.
Okay. It's so bad. It's so bad. I am embarrassed newly. I know this happened in 1990. I was having a baby then. I was in the Sea Organization. I was pregnant in 1990. My daughter was born in August. Yeah, cream of the crop here. This is like the top of the, no, it's not Florence. He's not Phil Jones's son, even though they share a name. This was 1990. Phil Jones's son may not have even been born at that time. I don't know how old his son is. So may not have been. In Scientology, there's a thing called a communication lag or a comm lag. L. Ron Hubbard said, a comm lag is the time it takes for someone to answer a question. And it's a sign of how sane or not sane you are. So if you ask a question, like if you say, what is Scientology? And I start telling you about what I had for lunch yesterday, that's not answering the question. That is extending the time of my communication lag or my comm lag. What blows my mind is that Scientology, when you do media for Scientology, because I did a little bit of it when I was still a Scientologist, you were very prepped for these interviews. You drill some things. What is Scientology is the most simple question. You got to admit you need notes. You should know this. If you were enough of a Scientologist to be dragged out, dusted off to go do some press, you'd think you would know a little bit of something about Scientology and what it actually is. This is what was so crazy. And it just gets worse. It gets worse. We're going to look at more of this because it is like cringe upon cringe upon. It's a wave of cringe is what happens.
This God compared to any God worshipped by any other religion.
So now they're getting into God, right? This guy really brings it home here. All I can do is like imagine the Office of Special Affairs people who put him up to this are listening to this interview going, what is going on? What were we thinking? Who chose this? All right, let's listen.
You didn't have notes on that.
I can only know what it is for me.
So big lag, big communication lag before he starts to answer the question. Again, another common question about Scientology is, do Scientologists believe in God?
Couldn't really answer for what other people believe in other religions, other than the fact that you might believe that there's a basic being that created everything. Yes, is it the God of the Bible, for example?
Come on.
Crickets. Is it the God of the Bible? Dude, did you get in Scientology yesterday? There are 8 dynamics. 1, the 8th dynamic is the urge towards existence as a supreme being, the God dynamic. It can mean different things to different people. In Scientology, we don't dictate what that belief is. What's true for you is true for you. Total BS answer, but the right one from the viewpoint of Scientology. This is not hard. That's why this is like so embarrassing.
The Bible isn't used in Scientology because it actually kind of gets in the way because there is so much contradiction. It's
Yes. He did just say the Bible gets in the way because there's so many contradictions. He's just out there making friends left and right. And at least from a Scientology point of view, he's giving an actually more of an honest answer about how Scientology views this. But if this guy was a Sea Org member, he got sent to do not stop and don't pick up any money. Do not pass go. You're going straight to the rehabilitation project force for this. But he could have just been an everyday Scientologist too. I don't know. If anybody knows who this guy is, let me know.
It's a good moral director.
Now, Can you imagine, Tori, can you imagine what Scientology was thinking when this guy's going, oh, the Bible's not, we don't consult it. We don't, no, it's, this is not the message they want.
But this God compared to any God.
Yeah, it is not the message that they want put out. And he got really tripped up by that, which is hilarious. And then he starts slamming the Bible. He goes on and talks about you guys, we're going to look at a few more clips, but honestly, this is I know I say that a lot. You guys should see this video. It's amazing. But seriously, you guys should see this video. It's amazing. Their reaction to it is so great. But again, it answers the question, why are Scientologists not allowed to speak about Scientology anymore? And it actually gets better, worse for Scientology, but better for us, because now the Scientologist tries to explain issues with the Bible and even when he left his body and how that basically made him a god.
The books of the Bible, the first ones that I understand, were not written. Okay. Were not written for 40 to 70 years after his.
Okay, I might not have this right myself, but wasn't the Bible written hundreds of years after Jesus? Mama Opal, anybody? Was it 40 to 70 years after? I thought it was hundreds of years, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Bina, this was 1990. If this guy's a Sea Org member, he's probably still on the RPF. Let me know. Is he way off about that? I thought it was hundreds, but I could be wrong too.
His death, and that kind of loses some credibility for me as far as some of what, just as an individual that looks at information and data, and then you analyze it and find out whether it's real for you and if it's something that you can apply. I myself, where I really kind of got turned on to the whole thing, came about at a time when I left my body.
He left his body. This is when he really got into the God dynamic. He really knew what it meant to be God. Not have a God, be a God.
And when you are no longer in your body, you come to the realization that you are not your body, you're a spiritual being. And I tuned in real quick to some of the biblical things like man was created in God's image. Well, in essence, I was a mini little God. And
a mini little God. So this leaving your body is the same thing as becoming a God. Now, I get where he's going with it, because in Scientology, it was called exteriorization, or to exteriorize, to leave your body, to be separate from your body. It was like the goal in Scientology. Except if you were separate from your body and you could not go back into your body properly, it caused an issue. What was it called? Interiorization. And you had to do an entire rundown that cost extra money to fix it. So if you leave your body and you can't get in correctly, you don't know where the entrance is, you lost it, you lost your key. I don't know. But now you're going to be in trouble. But Scientology can help you, because what's going to happen per L. Ron Hubbard is you're going to start to get headaches. And there is this expensive rundown called the interiorization rundown, I think the INT rundown, that you can pay thousands of dollars for to help you address this. So you can just get back in your body. People hated it. I speak for myself. I hated it. Why? Because you had to do it and then you had to wait. Was it a week or 2 weeks? Y'all, anybody remember? Does it matter to you? Not to me. You had to wait a week or 2 weeks, and nothing could happen to you in that time, or you had to do the rundown again. You could not get any headaches. It's like they're just checking, like, okay, is this person okay with going in and out of the body now? We all hated it. And you had to be a higher trained auditor to be able to deliver it as well. It was such a pain in the butt. So this guy thinks now is the time to basically claim to be a god after he kind of crapped on the Bible, which if you're Scientology and you're going out there, you should be talking about, the question was, what is Scientology? Not what is it not, right? Not like, we're not talking about the Bible. I mean, they were talking about the Bible, but this is what's so hilarious about it. Did anybody answer my question about how long you got to wait for that INT rundown? I'm going to keep an eye out for that. Okay, so it just gets better. It gets better. This is an interview that is the gift that just keeps on giving. Listen to this.
This for a reason. Now, because when I lived in New York City, I would.
Now, the former Scientologist is going to start talking in a bit, and wait till you hear the difference in how he responds, how Jerry responds.
Walk down the streets of Greenwich Village and be accosted by people who would ask me to come to a room and take a personality test, which sounded interesting enough, and I actually went up and did it. And once I got up there and took the test and the results were compiled, some people laid some heavy pitches on me to become a member of the Church of Scientology. What it seems to me is that in these two ways, the Church of Scientology appears to try to get members without telling people at the beginning that it's a church or that it's a religion or
exactly. So he's confronting them on like, why can't you guys say you're Scientology? Why do you hide behind your Oxford capacity analysis? Your free film, your stress test, right? Nowhere. You know how many people get lured into a Scientology building? That's why they put the actual signs so high up. So when you're facing the building, you don't know what it is and you're just walking in. Or the Scientology sign, they don't light it up. We used to see that at the Hollywood Testing Center. Y'all remember that? They had a A-frame outside saying, come in for a free personality test or something like that. And they intentionally put it where it wasn't well lit so you couldn't see the Scientology part. This is like a big deal. They've been doing this for a long time.
In the opinion of some people, because of these tactics, it's been called a cult. How do you feel about that?
Well, any religion, according to the definition, would be considered a cult if you read the.
And this is still Mike Jones, the Scientologist, that's answering this question. Any religion is a cult. That's his answer.
Definition. I think cult has become a slam word that you can attach to anything that doesn't agree with how you think.
Hey, if you're going to accost somebody on the street and ask them to take a test, wouldn't you say, hi, I'm from the Church of Scientology? Just as somebody might say, hi, I'm from the Catholic Church, or hi, I'm from the Lutheran Church, or hi, I'm from the Mormon Church. And Mormons have come to my door when I lived in Arizona. They came in pairs. They were dressed in white shirts and black ties, and they rode on bicycles, and they said, hello there, we're from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They didn't come and say, gee, how would you like to take a polygamy test today? You know, they didn't do that. And that's what I'm curious about. Why is it you can't just say it's the Church of Scientology?
Well, I'll tell you, my encounter, okay, now, you have to realize that I'm not trying to defend Scientology. That's what.
Obviously, this is obvious. In fact, if I had to guess, I mean, if I'm Scientology, I'm already lining up this guy's security check and interrogation. What are your evil intentions against L. Ron Hubbard, David Miscavige, and Scientology? Because you were doing the work of the critics out there. This is helping nothing and nobody as far as Scientology goes.
What I'm not here for. I am.
Oh, you're not.
When I wrote you, I said that my ox had been gored because of a previous show, and that I
fumble. He kind of goes on there, but now let's listen to the former Scientologist who's going to pop in here and answer some questions. And again, when you are a Scientologist, there are some things about Scientology we're told, you know, the public in general, they're just not ready for that. They're not ready to hear it. It would be out reality. That's what they call it. It'd be too far out of the reality of these people. Therefore, we have to give them acceptable truths, a short story, an acceptable truth, a truth that they can handle, because you can't handle the truth. I mean, they really took that movie too seriously. That is how the point of view of Scientology is. So it is okay to lie or misrepresent Scientology because you're doing it to protect that person. They're not ready to hear the truth about our galactic overlord, Xenu. They're not ready to hear the truth about the body thetans attached to them everywhere. They're not ready to hear the truth about the implant stations waiting to take us the moment we slip away. They don't know any of that. And this is how Scientology often gets in trouble, rather than just answering the question. So let's listen, because I think this is where the former Scientologist chimes in.
I'm wondering what exactly is being accomplished by the church. Certainly, there's been a lot of controversy about some of the contributions and where the contributions come from. Is there anything controversial about that, or is that just bad PR?
About the contribution?
Contribution. You know, you read about Lisa Marie Presley giving her fortune over to the Church of Scientology and things like that, and very negative press. Is there something negative about something like that?
I don't know what the Presleys are doing with their fortune. I can't answer that.
Just contributions in general.
But Scientology has what they call hard sell. Their policy is to hard sell, and their definition of hard sell is don't go into agreement with any objection the person has for not purchasing services. And the people who do the hard sell are called registrars. And the registrar is taught within an inch of his life, or her life, as the case may be, how to manipulate the person so that the person is willing to give all of their money. If not, and more often, it's more than just all of their money. They'll get a second or third mortgage.
That's right. A second or third mortgage. We've seen it happen. And they do. Scientology staff members whose job it is to get money out of Scientology public drill and practice on an almost daily basis, something they call their dissemination drill, where they practice handling objections of a Scientologist. I don't have any money. Oh, okay, let's take a look at your credit cards. Do you know what your limits are? Okay, let's call. Give me your credit cards. We'll call right now. Boop, 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 boop. Super invasive, invading privacy, impinging. And the Scientologist is indoctrinated to believe that by doing that, they are caring for their fellow human being. Because nothing is more important than getting to the top of the bridge to total freedom. Yet, Scientology doesn't get their staff members there. So if it's so important for them to do, why don't you give it to them for free? Make them into these super OT beings who can be godlike so they can go forth and expand Scientology. If Scientology worked, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you take the staff members, the people willing to do the job, the Sea Org members, and just give them all the auditing they want or could handle that makes them more capable, as you say, and then let them loose on the public to go recruit for Scientology? If it makes them more able, if Scientology makes the able more able, why doesn't Scientology start with the staff members and make them more able if it's their job to get people in? It just doesn't make any sense. And it was one of the things when I was in Scientology still that did rub me the wrong way. Well, wait a minute. If the tech is so great and it makes people into these super beings, why would the staff not be doing the bridge, those steps to make them more capable? Well, we all know why, because it doesn't actually work. That's why it does not actually work. And this guy, let's see, I think he talks about the mystical manipulation as well. Take a little quick look at that here. I think this is my last clip on this.
And they attribute that to Scientology. It's a point of mind control called mystical manipulation or planned spontaneity. In other words, if I can plan something so that it seems like it happened spontaneously, but I knew that it was going to happen all the way along, and you reach that particular thing, you are probably going to have what you call a spiritual experience. And you're going to attribute that to me for being so smart as to put you into that state. There are some problems with that. One problem is that when you're in that state of euphoria, it's like being in love. And when a person is in love, you can also describe that as being like they were intoxicated.
And Paralyzed to Paralyze here on YouTube has done multiple videos explaining to us how the e-meter is used, how the electricity that goes through the e-meter into our bodies was used to put us in a trance state, to put us and our brains into a state of being susceptible to what was happening. So this is the former Scientologist explaining this, and he's doing a bang up job.
The first thing that goes when a person is intoxicated is their judgment. And of course, that's one of the things that happens when a person goes into a trance state, becomes euphoric. The first thing that goes is their critical faculties. Their ability to think logically has been reduced in certain aspects, not all the way across the board, but in certain aspects.
Very, very true. I learned about most of that after leaving Scientology. And honestly, since being on YouTube, because Paralyzed to Paralyze does a fantastic job in explaining that and giving examples and showing us how that happens. So fascinating. I'm going to link it all down below after this video. There is so much more in that video. So don't think you saw it all. There is a lot more. And Mark Bunker and Tori's reaction to it too is just hilarious at times. So I say you check it out. Okay, now we need to touch on a story we talked about yesterday, which is Leah Remini's lawsuit. And I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. We're going to talk about it. This is from the underground bunker. So boom, boom, everybody get in the bunker. And it talks about how losing Mike Rinder, how Scientology is using it in the appeal of Leah Remini's lawsuit. And we talked yesterday about how interesting it is that Scientology, that the Religious Technology Center is setting themselves apart from the rest of Scientology in this appeal, in the way that they responded, right? So Leah Remini is fighting this law. She's got this lawsuit going on against Scientology. And in true Scientology fashion, they're pulling out every trick in the book, except the one where they stop harassing people and take accountability. Weird, right? So the Religious Technology Center, that's what David Miscavige runs, which is basically just David Miscavige's little clubhouse. They filed I think it was called a joinder, which is like fancy lawyer talk for, we also have something to say in the appeal of Leah's case. And if you're thinking, wait, aren't Church of Scientology International, CSI, and the Religious Technology Center, RTC, just Scientology wearing different hats? Yes, that's exactly what Leah's saying with this lawsuit. But RTC, Religious Technology Center, is like, no, we're totally separate. Ignore the fact that we move money between us like a shell game and answer to the same guy who throws tantrums over his shoe lifts. No, we are separate. So now the court gets to decide if if they're all like, we're totally different, if that routine holds up, or if it's just the legal equivalent of, a bad disguise, right? And spoiler alert, it is a bad disguise. That is totally what it is. Now, here's where it gets kind of grim. Mike Rinder, who was one of the biggest whistleblowers on Scientology's abuse, he passed away. And RTC, the Religious Technology Center, is now saying, well, his declaration shouldn't count because he can't testify now. Oh, the irony. The same people who tormented him for leaving, stalked him, harassed him, and likely contributed to declining health through stress and a lifetime of this, right? They're now using his passing as a legal loophole. And that's like setting someone's house on fire and then saying they can't sue because technically they no longer live there. I don't know where this is going to go, but hopefully this is not going to work. And there's a kicker too. Leah's evidence still holds up because the point isn't that Miscavige harasses people. It's that harassment is the entire structure of the Religious Technology Center. It's not Dave being Dave. It's their official playbook. We've read multiple documents about that, even from the Office of Special Affairs. This isn't a one-off. This isn't an, oops, we harassed the wrong person this time. It's a well-documented, court-proven, FBI-investigated, ex-member testified, decades-old policy. This policy of fair game. We've seen it over and over again. And RTC can throw all the legal tantrums that they want. And Leah still has the receipts. And if you look at the two responses in this appeal, there was one from Church of Scientology International, right? And then there was one from RTC, which is kind of what we're kind of talking about now. There's a big difference in the tone. And I think we can appreciate the tone shift in these filings. CSI, Church of Scientology International, their brief last week was straight up frothing at the mouth, rant, like someone let Miscavige near the keyboard after a particularly rough day of, I don't know, whatever it is he does, drinking scotch. But this one, the one from RTC, Religious Technology Center, it's a little more polished. It's restrained. It's like RTC is trying to be the reasonable adult while letting CSI run around like a sugar high toddler kicking walls. Makes you wonder if Miscavige is playing a long game here or if he's just distracted by his reflection in a shiny surface. Either way, Leah's not backing down. Neither is the truth. We'll see what continues to come out about this. It is typical of Scientology. And one thing we know about David Miscavige is he's very reactionary. He's not known for taking a step back, separating out his emotions from reality, thoughts and feelings, and trying to make a decision that's more, a response versus a reaction. No. He is not known for that. No, not at all. So this is very interesting because I thought too, that tone, the difference in tone, is that more just Scientology, David Miscavige trying to show, oh, we're so a different person? You can tell. CSI is over here acting crazy. RTC is very structured. I think it's part of them trying to really play into that these are different entities, which they might be on paper, but in reality, they're not. And Mike Rinder's not the only person who can be deposed and testify to that as well. So I don't know that this is going to work. What I do know is we need to talk about more. Question of the day. What was the best or worst excuse to escape a Scientology recruiter? Where did I leave off here? A cute pumpkin clodhopper. No, thank you. I looked into Scientology and learned it's a human trafficking, family destroying, child abusing, money hungry cult. That'd be a good one. That would shut them down. Maybe as much as Mox, I would straight up go with IBS flare up. It's effective. I agree with you. That's why I think diarrhea, kind of the same thing. Like, oh, I have to go. I have diarrhea. It's like, go. There's no follow-up question to that. Let's see. From a poet, Brian, best excuse? I don't want to. Exactly. Oh, Bella Notes is with me on the I got diarrhea. Asen says the response should be, oh, I did drugs. I just dropped some acid. Let me come in and watch your Dianetics films. Probably would make it more interesting. KS Eskigal says, no thanks. Hated all of LRH books and writings. Don't think I would like a religion based off his ramblings. That'd be good and to the point. Julia O'Connell says, I have so many things to do than join a cult. So many other things to do than join a cult. But thank you. Jen Kess, I have an appointment with my psychiatrist I can't miss. That's a good one. Fantastic response to a Scientology recruiter. Abigail says, I'm an avid watcher of Aaron Smith Levin's channel. Oh, I would love somebody to do that. Would you like to take a personality test? Oh, I heard about this. Do you watch Aaron Smith Levin on YouTube? Or Natalie at Life After a Cult? You should Google it. Bina says, Xenu warned me about you. Xenu warned me about you. Cheryl says, just pretend you're getting a call and go, oh, sorry, Xenu's calling me. Have to go, Scientology recruiter. Lady Victoria says, oh, no, that wasn't me. That's my twin you're looking for. Yeah, you weren't trying to recruit me for Scientology. Buckled up Buttercup. Response to a Scientology recruiter. Oh, I already read all the advanced levels on the internet. A lot of Scientologists don't know that those advanced levels exist on the internet because they're not allowed to look at it. So that's kind of I think that'd be a great protest sign too. Did you know all the OT levels are on the internet? You can look them up. There will be some Scientologists that can't help themselves out of curiosity and will go do it. Marie, sorry, I'm on my way to my psychiatrist appointment. That is always a good one. Queen of Karma says, I'd love to, but I have a prior engagement with the flying spaghetti monster. Sharona says, oh, I'm sorry. I have to go. I heard John Goodman needed a touch assist. Maybe you can catch me later. Hermie, happy birthday, Hermie. I've done LSD. Now, that'll only prevent you from joining the Sea Org, not from Scientology. Now, if you said, I just did LSD this morning, let's do this, then maybe they'd be like, yeah, no. Venus is blue to a Scientology recruiter. You know what? I would, but I'm late to walk my fish. Itchy Thetans, sorry, I can't come in. I'm on my way to therapy. Does it matter to you? Not to me. No, thanks. I'm a critical thinker. Professor Furberger, I'm a psychiatrist. Here's my card. God, they back up so fast. Cricket Cinema, I took a whole lot of acid, man, and I'm broke. Pocono Pluck says, in response to a Scientology recruiter, I'm on my way to talk to my gay black therapist about my constant use of LSD. Oh, Noelle, this would get you out of it for sure. You know, I think I might have COVID. You need to go to isolation for that. Kathy Scogan says, I'm sorry. I need to go. I'm almost late for my psychiatrist appointment. Yeah, playing the psychiatry card, I feel like that will completely work. Malevolent Queen says, point, and then yell, look, L. Ron Hubbard's back. It would work. Afila, right there with me with the diarrhea. That's right. Sisters and diarrhea. Hunter Bay says, thanks, but I've already met Xenu and we didn't get along. Dr. Evil's Finger, sorry, I'm a suppressive person and I have to go now. Mock says, alternatively, no thanks, I'm still sexually active and I like it that way. Marie, apologies, I'm late for my coffee with an SP meeting. That would be another one. I can't come in and do that. I'm about to go have coffee with Aaron Smith-Levin. The Boobologist. Oh, sorry. I can't be. I've been a Scientologist in a past life and it didn't work out for me. How do you even answer that? Northern Girl, I'm on my way to meet Natalie and Aaron Smith-Levin. Come on, walk with me while you tell me about Scientology. That would be a good one. Oh my God, Peripheral Jane. I donated all my money to the SBTV Foundation. Swedish Andrea. Oh, sorry, my billion-year contract just ran out. Stasha says, for me, it would be the effort of trying to get me to conform. I'm a nonconformist and a huge skeptic. They can't, bullcrap me into believing them. Arkansas Flamingo. Ooh, I would, but I'm allergic to niacin. Does it matter to you? Not to me. If I join, would I be able to keep my job? I'm a promoter for SPTV. Sweet Elizabeth. Oh, I'm sorry, but yeah, my body Thetans, they say no. Sandy McKenna, I'd love to join, but my body Thetans are socially distancing. It'd be funny hearing Sandy say it too. Kathy Scogan, sorry, I got to go drop this body, but you know what? I'll be back. Remember the saying in the Sea Org is we come back. We come back, we grow, we come back, we grow up, we come back, and we expose you as a human trafficking cult. Lisa says, oh, here's my answer. I don't donate to cults. Hermes, I found my reactive mind. Have you? James Steele, did you know Tom Thumb Cruise takes a pencil everywhere with him? Keeps him drawing all the attention. Good one, James. Nisa, is that called cramming down a cult? Oh, let me do that one again. Is that called cramming a cult down other people's throats? Sandy, I already did my purification rundown. Too much Taco Bell. Oh my God, these are crazy funny, you guys. PJ Mac, gotta move my spaceship out of the no parking zone. I will catch you later. Becky says, sorry, Xenu is beaming me up and I'm running late. Lisa says, I think Scientology is taking advantage of that homeless man. Like that, shame on them. Exactly. They will try to do that. Sorry, me and Dinu got an appointment at the STD clinic. Marcy. Oh, sorry, but that LSD is kicking in right now. William. I'm Aaron's significant other. Have you heard of Aaron Smith Levin? That'd be a good one too. E. Pepper, I'm a regular LSD user. Okay, my face is hurting so bad. DP Never In. Thank you so much for being a member for 10 months. I'll rewind for a replay. I love that. Magnus says, please tell me everything about Xenu and body thetans. Sandy again. What's the best? Or wait, you're putting the question again. Can't talk. Gotta go. Poop. Okay. I don't have time to come in, but does my butt look big in this? Does this e-meter make my butt look big? All right, my mouth is hurting. There is so many more, and I am going to go read those. If you were on the replay, get in there. Drop those in, your answer to the question of the day. How would you respond to a Scientology recruiter? What would you say? Yeah, so reminders, tomorrow, 2:30 my time, I'm going to do an interview with Jenna Miscavige. Then after that, we are going to have a Life After a Cult members only live stream. This is on Thursday. This is tomorrow. In the meantime, everybody, I hope you get out. Oh, hit that like, hit that subscribe. And most importantly, I hope you get out and have an amazing cult-free day.